Dr. Jaffe, can you talk a little bit about how digestive health is critical to overall health?
It's a really important subject that is coming into general conversation now and deserves to be discussed because we human beings are made up of cells. Our digestive tract is made up of cells, different cells. So we have a metabolism, what we call the metabolome, and then we have the part that feeds us, the part that removes toxins from us, the part that is in communion with us, and that's the digestive tract, or what we today call the microbiome. And there are many biomes. So there's an intestinal microbiome. In fact, people talk about the multiple microbiomes within the intestine. And then there's a microbiome in your eye and in your ear. And in every part of the body, there are different kinds of organisms, for good or for ill, living among us, living within us, we living with them. There's actually 10 times more of these organisms than there are cells in our body. So from the digestive tract's point of view, the human being is simply a convenient host for them. And here is the key point that most did not understand until very recently. The reason why our approach is so effective and protective is because good bugs and healthy food that feeds healthy digestion crowd out the bad bugs. So while we worry about pathogens, I think we've been preoccupied with fighting with the signs and symptoms of ill health, the digestive disorders that have become epidemic. And I'll mention several of these. But the most important point is that there are billions and billions of organisms that are right now metabolizing, synthesizing, producing, redirecting the fuel that comes into you. We eat large quantities of many calories, and then it gets into the stomach and into the digestive tract, where it must be broken down to molecularly small, tiny elements, atomic level elements, in order to get assimilated into us properly. So the maxim is we want to eat foods that we can digest, we can assimilate and eliminate without immune burden. Now, if you have a really healthy digestion, then the process of seeing the food, which tells the brain to tell the gut what's coming in, and then the mastication in the mouth, the fact that chewing high fiber foods is a really good thing to do because prebiotic fiber, unprocessed fiber, prebiotic fiber, feeds probiotic organisms. So we need 40 to 100 grams of fiber for a healthy digestive tract. We need 40 to 100 billion organisms a day of a wide variety. And in PERC Digestiguard, we have 10 different strains at their maximum capacity, what's called log growth, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, doubling, doubling, doubling. Most probiotics will tell you the number of particles or organisms, but not the number that are alive. Because in essence, they grow to the maximum number of bugs to the point where the bugs are cannibalizing each other because there's so many bugs. And they've used up the nutrients. On the other hand, the more active probiotics are grown in log phase. They're grown to double and double and double. And at their peak doubling, that's when you stop and quickly lyophilize or freeze dry them. So we have looked over the years at the most active strains. We have them in active amounts, about 5 billion organisms per capsule. And I'm suggesting 4 or more of those capsules a day, plus fermented foods in your diet. Whether it be fermented vegetables or raw pickles or raw kimchi or sauerkraut or any of the condiment type of foods that are pickled. You can have pickled garlic, for example. These are the healthy sources that are necessary, the fiber is necessary to feed the microbiome. And now the question comes up, well, how about if on Monday I take an awful lot of good bugs and then I don't need to take any additional probiotic or prebiotic supplements on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then I can load up again on Friday? No, it turns out many of these organisms, especially the acidophilus-like organisms, they have to be replenished every day. So it is in healthy cultures, people eat cultured foods. And here I don't mean sophisticated, here I mean made into probiotics with high fiber and prebiotics, minimal processing, maximum vitality. And yes, when your tummy is happy, you feel better. There is a direct relationship between a healthy transit time and feeling well and being resistant to infections or seasonal stresses, or just being more able to handle the challenges of daily living. So yes, digestion or the microbiome is important. And yes, most of us have been taking it for granted. We haven't been nourishing it, and therefore it doesn't nourish us as well or as completely. So the bottom line is prebiotics, probiotics, and then symbiotics. We'll get to the recycled glutamine. But I did say that I would mention some of the more common problems, their typical management, and what I would recommend. So if we start from the beginning, many people have a dry mouth, and I recommend something warm and something dilute to start each meal. It could be lemon or lime water, warm. It could be a broth. It could be a dilute soup. It could be a fresh juice. But the idea is to have something warm to sip upon so that your mouth can get used to the idea that it should be producing amylase and other digestive, predigestive enzymes, catalysts that help break down the food that you're chewing. And very often when I see people and we're talking about these, they say, gee, you know, I eat a good diet. I make sure that I eat a well-rounded diet, but I don't have to chew very much. And that means to me that you're not getting enough fiber, you're not getting enough prebiotic fiber to feed the good bugs. And under stress, or if you've had some therapies that might have reduced the healthy bugs, antibiotic therapy, for example, you need to replenish those bugs a lot and for a long time. Because most of us have slowly been creating a condition called maldigestion. That's an overall term for impaired digestion, maldigestion, as opposed to healthy eudigestion. Very rarely do you hear people say, oh, I have such eudigestion, I'm so happy. Very often you hear people say, oh, I have maldigestion, I feel so terrible. So one of the reasons that people often do not feel well is because they have a long transit time, more than the 12 to 18 hours that's healthy. In fact, the average in America today is somewhere between 3 and 7 days. So very often people who are regular, that is, they go to the commode and they have something come out every day, that might have come in 3 to 7 days ago or more in many cases. So yes, a healthy digestion is a bedrock, is a foundation, is a core upon which good health can be built. Then you have to take care of the body, of course, and the individuality, the biochemical individuality, and meeting the needs of the individual. But starting with a healthy microbiome, starting with a healthy digestion is really important.